So I've got my invoice here that just came in. Taking a look at the herbs here, and I've grabbed the herb list just in case I want to more quickly find where the herbs are, or I can test my knowledge. So right now I'm just going to go through and pull all the herbs that are on this invoice. Alright, so I've pulled all these herbs for this formula, and I have the scale out, and this formula is going to be 3 bags, so I'm going to take out from under here 3 plates. And then I'm just going to start going down the list and weighing out one by one and placing them on each plate. So, for example, the first herb is Guajir, 12 grams per bag. So I'm going to weigh out 12 and put it on one plate. And just keep going through sequentially down the invoice. And that is that. Okay. Now I'm done with this herb, so I'm going to turn it upside down just to keep track of what I've already done. Move on to the next herb. Alright, so some herbs have special things about them. So right now I'm working with longu, which is in powder form. So we put it in a separate tea bag, and so I'm going to weigh it out with this spoon is helpful. And then I like to use the funnel to help it into that tea bag a little easier. It's a little easier. And then we seal it. So we use this impulse sealer. It's already turned on and turned up to the temperature it needs to be. All you have to do is just hold it on until the little red light turns off. And then it's sealed. Alright, so mouli is special because it needs to be decocted before the rest of the formula. So I'm going to put it in its own bag. So I have 3 bags here because we're doing 3 bags of this formula. So let me weigh that out now using the funnel. Kind of helpful. There we go. Alright, so our dong shen is pretty long. So I measure it out, but then we like to cut it up before we put it in the bag. So you can do that with your hands or scissors. So bansha, we have to crush it up. So I'm going to grab this bad boy and weigh it out and then crush it up. So it goes from this to this. Add it to the plate. Okay, so for Swanzauren, it also has to be crushed. So I'm going to use a coffee grinder, which I'll show you in a second. So I'll measure it out first. Pour it in. There you go. Okay, so I've got all of the herbs from the invoice on this plate, including this extra bag. So I'm now gonna take it to the supervisor and have them check it before I bag it up. Okay, so the supervisors approved it, went through and checked the plate and signed it. So now we can put them in their respective bags. So I'm gonna get 3 paper bags, and I'm gonna write the patient's, I don't have her last name on here. I'm gonna write the patient's name on the bag with the smoothie that was on the side. I'm gonna put, so I put the patient's name on it, and then I'm just gonna put cook first on here, as this is the herb that they will decoct first before the rest of the formula. So I'm gonna take one of these bags and include everything on this plate in it. And then add the inside. Yeah. Add that one inside. Okay. And so I'm getting an instructions sheet for the patient for how to decoct the herbs. So that's found in this little cubby area. All right. I'm filling out the instructions page for the patient. So it's a lot of the areas are pre-filled in, but we're just adding in the details. All right, so I filled out the instructions. I have the bags full of herbs, and I'm just gonna grab a plastic ACCHS bag, place everything in there, the bags of herbs and the instructions. And then it's ready to go, and I'll hand it either to the patient directly or to the front desk staff. I'm gonna enter these herbs into the patient's billing section in Jane. All right, so once you have the herbs all packaged up, send them off to the patient or the front desk person, and we can start to clean up. So we're gonna put all herbs back on the shelf, keeping in mind the section that they go in, and keeping them alphabetized and in order of what is used most frequently. So having things that are used most frequently up front and easier to access.